Good morning, guys. I'm right here in front of Miss Florence Omisola's house, and the host is Dr. Adekoya. We have the Justice for Africans, the African Diaspora here is about to go live in here. We have a party today for Mother's Day on behalf of all great mothers out there doing a good job with their children, with their kids, empowering their husbands, the men out there. We see you, we salute you, we know you. May we be you, may we become you.
Little honoring, as I call him, the person of Mr. Adekoya, the CEO, the chairman, Diaspora for Justice, New Jersey Worldwide. Can you come in, sir?
I am honored and humbled to be here this afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Right? I can see all the goodness that is going on here. I can see the beautiful faces and young presidents and ministers and senators and all that of the United States. Please give them a round. Thank you. Thank you so much. First and foremost, I think we have to understand that today is a special day in our nation and some other part of the world as we celebrate our women. I strongly believe that Mother's Day here in the United States is a day designated to celebrate our mothers. But my belief is that every day is Mother's Day because our mothers are very important. And I stand on the principle of our organization that is called My Daughter, Your Daughter. You see, when we talk about mothers, I strongly believe that our mothers are our leaders. Our mothers are our future, and our mothers are our existence. If all the women in the world today decide to cease childbearing, that's the end of the universe. Jesus does not have to come. Am I correct? Mother, if you please agree with me, give yourself a round of applause on this beautiful day. Thank you so much. That's how important our mothers are. That's why we have to celebrate them, not only on Mother's Day, but every day of our life. We need to celebrate our mothers. We need to treat them right. The Bible tells me that he who finds a good wife finds a good thing. And mother is the foundation of humanity. And mothers are the foundation of what the world is to become and what the world is today. In my own native language, Nigeria, where I come from, one ọmọ tí ó bá dà tí bàbá ni, ọmọ tí ó bá dẹ̀ tún kù díẹ̀ kó tó tí ìyá ni. That's being judgmental. It's not fair because it takes two to tango. So ó ṣe wá jẹ́ wípé ètí ò wà okay ní ti mommy and ètò wà okay ní ti daddy. You know, that's just what it is. But the real fact is that we have to celebrate our mothers. We have to respect them and do what is right by them, to them, because that's what God wanted us to do. Because had it been that man can exist without female, I think God would have done just that. But he chose not to go that route, and he knows best. So we have to come through the conveyor, which is our mothers, the women. So absolutely it means that without women, there is no reproduction. Okay, even if there is what they call in vitro fertilization or this and that, and being transplant and all those stuff, there's still something that is needed which connects humanity to the womb of female women. And no matter how much we, the men, claim to love our children, we cannot love them more than their mother does. That's a fact. And I'll tell you one thing without elaborating too much on that. There is a difference between the love of a mother and the love of a father. Simple difference that most of us don't pay attention to. You see, the bond between the mother and the child, which is connected to the umbilical cord, that bond is not there with the father and the children. So this is why you have to understand that when we talk about women, we can go on forever, because there's so many things that makes mother different from father. There is so many things that make the love of a woman different from the love of a man. I don't know a woman that has two husbands, but I know several men that have several wives. Sharing people balance, right? So no matter how we look at it, let us continue to respect our women, and let's treat them like the jewel that they are, whom God has given to us to be our partners, to be our friends, and most important, our companion. So when you treat somebody like your friend and your companion, there won't be what's called some kind of verbal, mental, physical abuse. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So if we see each other as equal, because all men are created equal, I don't think God has a preference when it comes to gender. I don't know about that. I studied theology, and I've never come across that. You see, so He sees us as equal. Whether they're kids, whether they're grown, whether they're old, we're just children of God. But most important for us today is to learn how to treat our women right, and how to, love them dearly, so that they could continue what God has created us to do. Because without the women, there is no reproduction. And if we're not nice to them, how could they want to reproduce to replenish the earth? The Bible says, go out and multiply to replenish the earth. So in order for that to happen, we have to love, we have to care, we have to cherish them, and do what is just and right to them, so that God will be happy with us, and we will have a better life and enjoy the life that God has created us to have. So they are important people in our lives. I don't know of any doctor, lawyer, president, or what have you that did not come through a woman, except our Lord Jesus Christ, who is Immaculate Conception. That's the only exempted person. Any other person on the planet comes through a woman. So one thing that I'm hoping for, that I am praying for, as a strong supporter and advocate for women right and human right, I want to see a nation where we have our women in place of authority. And I think it would be a better world for a change. Because where love is absent, things are iffy. But anywhere that love dwells, things are better. And I can say confidently that they have more love than we do. Please give it up to our women once again. We thank you so much, guys, and happy Mother's Day to you all. And may you continue to live and prosper and reap the fruit of your labor. May you see your children, and may you enjoy your home and enjoy your husband, and may you continue to be fruitful and be a very strong supporter and a backbone of we the fathers, so that we'll be able to do right. Please, when we offend you all, please find it kind in your hearts to forgive us, because we cannot do without misbehaving. But when it's about your word to we 150 OC Famora. So please Famora, Evawawi, Ekowa, so that our knowledge get be your Lord. So once again, as a congratulations on this Mother's Day, and we hope that we'll continue to enjoy the nourishment, the love, and the protection of every one of our wonderful women. This afternoon, after talking about our women briefly, I would like to bring to our attention one of the things that we are missing in our community. Number one, my Bible tells me that my people perish for lack of knowledge. I can say it unequivocally that in this community, in these states, and even the United States of America at large, the minority, the Africans, the Latinos, are considered the underserved, the marginalized. We are the people that are not benefiting from what the city, the states, or the federal government has got to offer us. Most especially my West African brothers and sisters, and most especially my Nigerian family. We happen to be the ones that are not very involved in what's going on in our nation. But I think that tables are turning and things are changing. And thank God for our young ones that are springing up, those that are born in the United States, our future leaders, girls and boys. We thank God for them, because things will change. That is going to impact a lot of life than what we, the older ones, the migrants, are doing. We are always taking the back seats. And on this notion, African Diaspora for Justice come into existence. So I will tell you a little bit about African Diaspora for Justice at this time. But before I go into that conversation, may I please have Miss Florence here. Miss Florence, can we get your attention for a minute? Because a tree does not make a forest. We need each other in order for us to survive, to thrive. We need each other. So, at this time, I will just want every one of us, Miss Florence, please, for 1 second. I will just want every one of us to please help me give a resounding round of applause to this wonderful host that put this event together. Because if not for her, we would be here this afternoon. But the passion and the zeal that she has for our people is what made her to do this. And as a very strong and bona fide member of African Diaspora for Justice, we have no choice other than to partner with her and be here to make sure we support this initiative. We are hoping, by the special grace of God, it will be a lot bigger than this next year, because we are just coming out of a very deadly pandemic season. This time last year, we couldn't be here together, but we thank God that we are here to see this day. But for those that are not fortunate like us, not because we are better, not because we are saint or more handsome or beautiful or taller or shorter or rich or what have you, but the grace of God, we are standing here today. And while we are standing, things have changed in our world. And when things change, we have to roll with what's in line and take a proper place on the table so that we can be part of all the good things that are happening in the state, city, or in the United States as a whole. African Diaspora for Justice stands as a conveyor, a venue, or a platform, if you will, that represents Africans in diaspora. When we talk about representing Africa in diaspora, I know most of you must have belonged to different social groups, political affiliations, or clubs, or what have you. But an organization that you belong to that don't look out for you needs to be reevaluated. So African Diaspora for Justice stands to help all Africans and friends of Africans, descendants of Africans in the diaspora in every aspect of life. When we say we stand for them, though it's a non-profit organization that is committed to the improvements of the life of Africans. We as Africans go through a lot of things in this country, starting from we have an accent, to not getting the proper holiday time or timeshare or break at our place of work. I know people who are in different fields that don't get a vacation on Christmas, on New Year, on Thanksgiving, or every other holiday, simply because they are Africans. There are several nurses that fall into that category. But before that holiday comes in, our counterpart, maybe the Caucasians or other race, they automatically get that day off. But we don't. That's where African Diaspora comes in. So that we stand up for you, we fight for the right. It's one thing to have a family. It's another thing to have an organization that you belong to that can be there for you in time of trouble. It's one thing to have a problem with your landlord and you're getting threatened by your landlord or being evicted or sued or this and that. It's another thing to have an organization that you can run to when you don't have to pay money out of your pocket. It's another thing to hear about Trevor Martin being killed, Amadou Diallo being killed, somebody being arrested based on racial profile. It's another thing to have somebody who is going to make that noise and bring the attention to the authorities so that justice can be served. Those are simple benefits that you can get as a member of African Diaspora for Justice. When it comes to immigration matters, when it comes to eviction, when it comes to your job, when it comes to family, when you come to somebody harassing you and you think it's not proper, simply because you live in the United States or you're undocumented, that's irrelevant. A right, it's your right in any country and any place you stand in as a human being. As a human being, you have a right of freedom and liberty. And when those things are threatened and there is nobody to stand up for you, to look out for you, what becomes of you? That's why I think that it's important for every one of us to have another family outside your immediate family that you can run to in difficult times, that can be there for you, just as I'm here today. So, African Diaspora for Justice is being able to do a lot of things in our community. We fight tirelessly for the undocumented, the immigrant community, whereby when we have the fund that was allocated by New Jersey Pandemic Relief Fund, we fight to make sure that those people that we know, some of our members were able to be a partaker of that fund. But we can only do so much. We can only deal with the people that we know. If we don't know, it's going to be difficult. So there's a lot of things that is going on in our city, in our states today, that we, as the underserved, the marginalized, can benefit from. That's why I say my people perish for lack of knowledge. There's a lot of things As we speak right now, there's what they call the rental assistance fund that's available through New Jersey. The landlord can benefit from it. A tenant can benefit from it. If the pandemic affected your pay, your job, if you're out of job, you can qualify for the government paying 1 year of your rent to your landlord or to yourself to find another property if you fill the application properly. Those are the kind of benefits that exist that all the races or the people are taking advantage of, but we are not doing that. Simply because we don't know. We lack knowledge. We think we know, but we truly don't. I don't want to be mentioning all the races, but I can tell you confidently that the Jewish race that you're talking about get more benefit from the government of this country than you and me. That's why they are wealthier than every other people. You understand what I'm saying? So it is time for us to come together, to join forces with African Diaspora for Justice. Be a member. Include your family. Extend invitation to other people who are not aware of this. One thing I do know for sure with my people, my Nigerian folks, my African brothers and sisters, is that there's this sense of pride in us that even when we are crying inside, we are smiling outside. Suffering and smiling. We are used to that. It's only an African man that will see that they are giving out foods and clothes and all that the next place. But the African man will not show up there because he doesn't want to be looked down upon. He doesn't want to be seen as if he's collecting stuff. But let's be honest with ourselves. We need each other. Sometimes the things that you collect for yourself might not be for you. Because somebody else might show up at your door and you have opportunity to bless somebody with what you got. But if you don't have, can you give? It's important. But every other race and nationality take advantage of this. If you call as something is happening here right now, you will see the Caucasian, you will see the Latinos, and you will see all different races. But for continental Africans, you and me, because of pride, I think we need to move away from that mindset and claim what belongs to us. The government that is giving it to you plan to give it to you for a purpose. But if they're giving it and you are refusing it, then later you will start screaming. The government is not doing anything. Did you receive when they call you to come and get? Did you listen to that news? Did you follow the instruction? Did you fill out the form? Did you reach out for help? If you don't reach out for help, for food, for things you need, how then would you reach out when you have mental issues or psychological issues? Let's be realistic here. Suffering and smiling. We need each other. We need each other, but at the same time, I'm not going to blame a lot of people because it seems like there's a parable I say, be cool, live back to deal with back. Some of us are not comfortable enough to actually share with each other just because we don't trust each other. Trust is a major issue. Trust is a major issue in the community, but that's not for me to decide or judge. But I am just saying this afternoon that let us come together. Let's join hands together. Let's join forces. Let's brainstorm together. Call me. Call African Diaspora for Justice. Ask me what's out there for me. I need this. I need that. If we can't help you, we will direct you to the right person that's going to help you. We do a lot of work in the Latino community that we do in the African community, for God's sake. Because if you call one Latino, 10 will show up. Because they share among each other. When you tell one person something, it's going to tell the other one that, hey, listen, there's something going on there. I am speaking from experience. I'm not just telling you what I want you to hear. We have got a truckload of foods, groceries, and what you call from the government for the African community. But when you bring it to African community, you're going to be looking for somebody that is going to take it from you. You understand? Because of pride. You're looking for someone to take it. So in order to make it simple, so that you can get another one next time, call the people that when you call 200 will show up. It makes your life easier. But they're meant for the African community. But we are not claiming it. But if we stop to take it, we'll be caught out of that. Please, my brother and sister, it's time for us to come together. And let's partner. If you're not yet a member of African Diaspora for Justice, I want you to take a look at the things we offer. We have a leaflet out that I'm going to pass out later. It's going to tell you about things that we do in terms of support for whether new immigrants or old immigrants. Anything that you think about, whether in the legal industry or whatever, we can be of help to you. Most of all those things, you don't have to actually go and pay a consultation to a lawyer for you to be able to benefit from it. I know that's what some people think about every time they think about, I have to see a lawyer to get it, so I'm not doing it. But if you belong to an organization that can be of help and stand as a force step to lead you where you need to go or help you do what you need to do, I think it's a great thing. So I am humble and honored to be here this afternoon to share with you what we've got to offer and review our website, African Diaspora for Justice.org. See what we offer. We have some literature that I'm going to leave with you all, and you'll see what we can do. And let's share the information with some of the people that are not fortunate to be here today due to the weather, and we can go from there. And finally, I'm also going to touch quickly on My Daughter, Your Daughter. My Daughter, Your Daughter is simply a non-profit organization that is committed to our young women. My Daughter, Your Daughter stand against child trafficking, sex abuse, forced labor, human trafficking, domestic violence. That's what My Daughter, Your Daughter stand for. And how do we help in that area? We are able to bless young women from the age of 13 to 25 with scholarship. We offer 3 types of scholarship on a yearly basis. And the scholarship are in academic, art, and community service. When I say art, that involves people who are into entertainment or graphic arts or artists, as an actors and actresses, stuff of that nature. We help with scholarship in that area. For academic, we talk about fund for people who want to do better in school. And we also do scholarship for young women who are doing great work in the community. There are people in our community today that dedicate all their life to serving humanity, to helping other people. But who is looking out for those people? They don't get paid for that job that they're doing, just to help someone else. They volunteer their time for non-profit organizations. So if they desire the help, that's where MTYD comes in and help offer some kind of support in terms of scholarship to them, which we do on a yearly basis. So we will be keeping you guys posted more about My Daughter, Your Daughter. It's a great organization that's specifically for women. For women, whatever situation that you may have, we have a mentorship program that we can help our women that are going through stuff and difficulty. And I can tell you for sure that the time that our women need us is between that age 13 and 25. And I say by 25, every woman knows what they want out of life. But from the age 13 and 20 something, there may be something they need to know or they want to hear about or they would like to talk about. So that's where we come in. So we don't want to see no child abuse. We don't want to see people being deprived of education like they do in some Asian country or the Arabic country. Even they do in some part in the northern part of Nigeria. Women are being discriminated against to obtain higher education. Women are married or given to marriage at a very young age of 13 and 14, which we think is contrary to their will, because they're not grown enough to consent to those things that you're forcing them into. So I think it's time for those kind of things to change, because our women, like I said, are our leaders, our future, and our existence. And if our future is corrupt from the foundation, how then do we expect to live a peaceful world? How then do we expect to nourish our future presidents, ministers, and senators, who are going to pioneer, direct our path? The country is run by the people in office. If we don't have a sound mind case that can lead us aright, I pray we don't go back to the journey of the Israelites. So that's why we have to be on the same page. Love each other. Work together. Put away that crowd mentality, and let's form a formidable force to help move the black race, the African race, forward. And it starts simply from loving one another. It is a difficult task, but it is doing because we have a good God. Am I correct? So let's have a change of heart and continue to walk in that light. So in closure, I would like to say thank you to every one of you that is listening to me this evening. Even though this event was meant to be hosted outdoor, but because of the weather, we do with what we have, which we are very proud of and happy about. So at this time, I will yield for any question that you guys might have for me. If you have a question, I am here to take your question, but I will still be here for short more time to share more information. If you want to become a member of AD4JUSTICE, we have the application ready for you that you can fill out. There's a lot of great things that is happening. A lot of great things that is happening. I wish Miss Florence is here. I can testify to how many people in our community have been a beneficiary of some fund from the government, from $500 to $1,000. And we have a lot of these things that is coming out all the time. We are fortunate to have donations from, companies like Macy's or things like that. But who do you give it to if your people, if you don't know where they are, you give it to whoever is available, right? When the government wanted to give undocumented money, I was looking for, who do you know? Who do you know? So that we can get, because they're not getting stimulus from the government because they don't have the proper document to claim that. So we have to look for people in our community to get this stuff. So, but when you belong to this organization, there is a lot of things that you will be aware of. Even if it doesn't apply to you, even if you don't want it, share it with somebody that really needs it. You are a blessing. Don't let it return back to, money that is not spent, a money budgeted that is not spent will be returned back to where it's coming from, right? So, let us think about it, help our community, be our brothers' keepers, and let's continue to forge ahead. Any question at this time for me about AD4JUSTICE or my daughter, your daughter? Any question? If there is no question, I will. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is there any form that one can fill? Or you go to post it, or go to the site, wherever you can see the form, and fill it up to become a member?
Okay, thank you so much for that. I should have given you the microphone, but I assured you. Yes, there is a form that can be filled out, but we strongly believe that the form thing is becoming obsolete now. It's becoming the 18th century kind of thing. But we can still print out a form that you can fill out. But it is easier for you to go on any of your electronic device, your phone, your computer, and just go to AfricanDiaspora4Justice.org and you will become a member. When you go to become a member on your phone, the form will open up for you. You can fill it, it's fillable. You have two versions of form. There's the fillable one that you can fill out, and we will get it as soon as we hit send. It will come to us. That means you're in the process of becoming a member. But if you don't want to do that, if you're old school like my brothers and some of my friends, we can you can still go on that computer and download the PDF version of that form and fill it out, scan it, mail it, whatever, we're still gonna get it. So it's very, very easy, sir, to access it online, and also you can print out the PDF version and send to us. Thank you so much for that eloquent question. Great question, sir. Any other questions, concerns? Does any one of us here know about people who probably lost family to COVID? May those people, may their soul rest in perfect peace. There is a fund from the federal government right now for people who lost people to COVID. If you know anyone that lost family from COVID, they can get anywhere from 10,000 to about 30,000 just for losing someone. They can prove that the person died of COVID, so they can get that money with no string attached. It's not a loan, it's a grant. It's considered like a funeral expenses for the things that you do. So those ones are out there. The rental assistance program is still open. You know, a landlord can do that for the tenant, and the tenant can also apply on behalf of themselves. And then we are also still looking through, there's other things that is coming for the undocumented. We're looking at several millions of dollars that the government is working on and how they're going to share those money. So if you know people, this has nothing to do with the immigration matter, and it has no effect or whatsoever. That's why African Diaspora for Justice is there. So we have, attorneys, law firms, and different people that will stand behind all our people. So it's not just about anything that you can think of. Reach out to African Diaspora for Justice. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sorry. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I just want to thank you for the speech that you just delivered. I think it is apt. It is welcomed and highly appreciated. I just wished, like 21 years ago, when I needed it, that I had access to all these resources. Because I'm very passionate about the environment, especially because I lived in this country for years, undocumented, and living at the periphery, at the margin of society, being oppressed, being harassed, and just completely invisible to anybody, raped, and things like that. Wow. The good thing is I pulled out of it. But it wasn't without struggle and my blood.
Yes.
Those who know me know my struggles. To being harassed by the police, to being harassed by even fellow countrymen.
Right.
But when you were giving the speech, one of my first reactions was, who was going to queue for free food? I really do that. But then you said something which struck a chord, which was, you may not necessarily need it, but you may have a network of people who need it. Right. And you may not even be collecting for yourself, but at least you collect it. You can turn your own pantry into a mini community pantry by having access to all these resources. So I would join everybody who is present here today to really, at the church, publicize this information, let people know, because people who are undocumented have lived their life, and I know that they are very reluctant to come out to tell people about that status. So if you know anybody in the individual lives, connect them with this program. Because I'm telling you, people that are undocumented are suffering.
Yes. Yeah.
It's usually in silence. And
Silence.
not even smiling.
Right.
So,
Yes,
so
yes.
I really thank you. And today I am someone who is involved in community social justice program, studying PhD in the social justice field. So I understand. I'm not from here. I would have loved to join. So please, everybody, support this post.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I mean, that's a testimony. That's a testimony for people who have lived through it. It's the same thing with our women that are going through abuse. But they can't come out and tell you that this is what they are going through. Most especially when they are undocumented. Different things has happened to them. But they cannot even say it. But if they have a friend, they have a partner, they have an organization that they belong to, not just a social club to party together alone, not just an organization that you pay into just to say you belong, an organization that's going to be there for you like a family, true, thick, and thin. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Not just to have, not just to eat and drink, but when your trouble comes, it's you alone. Those days are over. My Yoruba proverb say, "Oshati oba gbemi ko fi wa sile ko se bawa." If you can't help me, can I be at peace with myself? Don't get me involved with your mess, or don't take my little dollar if you cannot help me in return. So it is important for us that have the opportunity. I'm going to piggyback on one of the things my brother said. I know you're probably not from New Jersey State here, wherever you come from. AD4JUSTICE, it's global. AD4JUSTICE is nationwide. There is nothing that we cannot do. We are connected with attorneys who are members and partners in different areas where we can be of help. I have gotten called at 3 a.m. in the morning. Somebody saying, "Oh, police just pulled me over. I don't have a license." I said, "Okay, just stay there. I'll be on the phone with you. Just do what they want you to do. Don't worry about that. All you're going to get is a ticket. They're not taking you to jail. They may not give you your car, but you're not going to jail. You're going to get a ticket. They might want to impound the ticket and this and that. But, let me just stay on the phone with you and let's see what happens." But at least he can call somebody that can at least counsel him or tell him to relax. You're not going back to Africa, and you're not going to jail, because he doesn't know what's going to happen. And there was nobody to call at that time but an organization that he belongs to. Isn't that a blessing? Just to have somebody to talk to at times is worth more than $1 million in the bank. Some people need just someone to communicate with who would have saved a life. But because there was nobody there for them, they have no choice but to find the easy way out, which is not the right thing to do before God. So, my brother, don't look at us like we are just local. We welcome you to be a member of African Diaspora for Justice. Go online, fill out the application, and come in and be part of us and spread the word. Let us share the word, like he said, in our churches and our community, and let us be, a benefactor of the great thing that African Diaspora for Justice is doing. Okay? You're welcome, man. And happy Mother's Days to all the beautiful and eloquent women that are just stepping in. You are welcome. Thank you so much. Any other question for now? Before we start hanging out together? Any other question? If there is no question, Miss Florence, do you want to take it away from now, or you want to take it over, or you just want me to say, reach out? Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please enjoy the evening. It's a day that is meant to celebrate our mothers. Let us party. Let us enjoy the moment. Let us love them. Let us share this day with them. But don't let it end today. Let the celebration continue. Let's continue to honor them. Don't say we honor Mother's Day yesterday, so therefore it's expired. It doesn't expire. right? It doesn't expire. It's something. It should be a culture. You know, it should be a culture. It should be something that we practice every now and then. None of us is perfect. Don't get that wrong. But let's continue to do our best and uplift our mothers. So once again, I say Happy Mother's Day to all our women here. We're going to be having some nice presents for our mothers. So I'll wait a little bit before we hand out those presents, and that will mark the contribution of MDUYD, My Daughter, Your Daughter organization, in collaboration with the African Diaspora for Justice and our beloved host, Miss Florence O. So we're saying once again, Happy Mother's Day to you all, and we love you, and we will continue to work with you, support you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.